If you were following along in the previous lesson from the Google Docs home, we selected the New button, chose Document, which took us to the word processing application you see here with a new blank document, untitled, ready for us to start typing. In this lesson, we're going to enter some text and talk about some basic techniques when doing so. First of all, you'll notice in the top left corner that our new document is untitled. We can rename it to whatever we want just by clicking up here, or as we start to type text, we'll see it get renamed for us, at which point we may wish to rename it anyway. Also, you'll notice some formatting options that appear on the formatting toolbar. The default font, in this case for Dana. The default font size set to 10 points. Then we've got some other options for formatting, bold, italic, underlines, none of which seem to be selected at this point. They're available to us but not selected. And then we've got the font color, defaulted to black, the background, white, and alignment, which is selected over here, is the left align button. We could also go center or right align. We'll talk about formatting your text later on, but before you start typing text here at your insertion point, which is flashing away here in the top left corner, you could do some formatting ahead of time. For example, maybe you know this is going to be a title and you want to change the size. I'm going to change the size up to 18 points. Now typically it's better to enter your text first and then do the formatting after the fact, because things can look a little bit crazy or kooky when you're doing it. I prefer to get my text in there, then format it so I got an idea what the entire document's going to look like as I format it. But it's totally up to you. So we'll make one simple change. We'll change our font size to 18 points and we'll type in our title. This is an insertion point here flashing away is very important, especially once we get some text on our page. If we need to go back and insert some elsewhere or maybe take out some text, the insertion point is important. So let's talk about some basic techniques when it comes to entering text. If you're brand new to word processing, this may come in handy. I'm going to start typing my title. I'm going to type in User Conference 2008. And you can see that that size is actually much larger than what I might be used to when I'm typing in a word processing application because we did change the size to 18 points. I'm going to hit Enter or Return on the keyboard. Return on the Mac keyboard, the Enter key, knocks you down to the next line. I'm going to hit Enter one more time to go down to the next line. So I'm leaving a blank line in between. The space that's being created here between these two lines is equivalent to the size of the font I've selected, 18 points. So I'm going to change the font size back now to a more respectable 12 points, which would be standard in most word processing applications. And I'm going to start typing in my agenda. I'm going to start with day 1. And I'm going to hit return a couple of times to leave a blank line. Now the blank line in between day 1 and where I'm ready to type is actually only 12 points as opposed to 18. And I'm going to type in just a few items here so we have some text to work with. So if you want to follow along, let's start with introductions. We'll hit return or enter, type in icebreaker. Then we'll type in keynote speaker. Hitting enter or return, we'll have a break. And then we'll have guest speaker number 1. And I'm going to hit return right there. Okay, some things have happened. First of all, in the top left corner, you can see that the new name of this document is User Conference 2008. I can keep it at that. It's been saved. It's available to me now, even though I haven't actually clicked on the Save button or Save and Close at this point. It's constantly being updated. That's one of the nice things about Google Docs. So if for some reason everything shut down, I'd probably be able to get back to this exact location in my document the next time I turn on my computer and access this particular document, now named User Conference 2008. We'll talk about renaming a little bit later on. Now my insertion point is down here flashing away below guest speaker number 1. But if I wanted to add something, maybe after the break, but before guest speaker 1, I just have to click up there after break. Now I've got my insertion point flashing away after break. And when I hit enter or return, you can see guest speaker moves down so I can type in another little item here. So I'm going to type in exercise, and that'll be exercise number 1. So inserting, no problem. You just click where you see the insertion point is where you're about to start entering new text or line breaks, whatever it is. What if you want to take out something? Well, in that case, the insertion point is very important. I'm going to click here between ice and breaker right after the dash. So you see my insertion point. So if I wanted to take out the dash, I would use my backspace key, which is up under the function keys there in the top right corner under function key 12. When I hit my backspace key on the Mac keyboard labeled delete, it actually takes out characters to the left. So if I hit it 3 more times, I'm going to take out all of ice and the dash. Now, if I hit my delete key, which is just above my arrow keys over there, between the numeric keypad and my regular keys on the keyboard, that takes out characters to the right. So as I tap it, you can see icebreakers coming out. Now I've got a blank line. If I hit my delete key one more time, I'm going to take out the blank line and everything closes up nicely. So some very basic techniques for entering text and of course working with that text to add new or remove existing text. The insertion point, very important. If I'm ready to continue with my list, I can cursor down using the arrow keys or just click down here below guest speaker and start typing. So very simple, adding text. It's automatically updated. Of course, there's a whole lot more we can do here when working with text, so stay tuned.